My Lord, I will hand over to Mr. Florian Bierkes. He will take the issue further with the leading of the witness. We are ready to proceed, as you please.
As it please the court, my lord. My lord, it is common course between the parties that the applicant's bail application is one that is premised on new facts. My lord, we have since shared the applicant's new facts with the prosecution. We also have a copy, my lord, a summary of the new facts for the court's convenience. May I hand one up? My lord, the state in essence takes no issue with our new facts raised, and they've agreed with us prior to commencement of the proceedings that these are indeed new facts. May I proceed to place the new facts on the record, my lord? As it pleases the court. Investigations into the matter are now. No threat of interference and or additional evidence to enhance the evidence currently at hand against the applicant. Second fact, my lord, case number CC6/2021 and CC7/2020. 144-page indictment, 44-page pre-trial memorandum of 342 witnesses the state intends to call, which establishes a protracted trial and infringes on the applicant's right to a fair and speedy trial. The applicant has been detained in pre-trial incarceration for about 2 years between the time of his initial failed bail application in July 2020 and this current bail application, whilst the trial is yet to commence at some point or date to be established, with extradition of co-accused still being attempted by the state. Fourth ground, my lord, that the disclosure reveals that the state does not have a strong case against the applicant. Fifth ground, the state added additional charges not canvassed in the initial bail application. And then the last new fact, my lord, is the applicant's personal circumstances have deteriorated exponentially over the past 2 years since his last bail application. My lord, those are the main grounds upon which the applicant will be called to testify to elaborate on. But before we proceed, my lord, we just wish to inquire from the state, since we could not finalize in essence what their grounds of objection would be with respect of the applicant's application. As it pleases the court.
The court pleases, my lord. In regards to the new facts that were now read into the record, yes, the state have agreed that these grounds can be read into the record. However, they still have to prove their amendments made therein. We do not agree that they represent the truth. The state objects to the granting of bail to the applicant for the following reasons. Number one, the applicant is facing serious charges involving a criminal syndicate, upon which, when convicted, a lengthy imprisonment sentence will be imposed. Number two, that the state have a strong case against the applicant Number three, that there is a real likelihood of him interfering with state witnesses and evidence. Number four, that it will not be in the interest of the public, it will also not be in the interest of the administration of justice, for the applicant to be granted bail in this matter. That there is a real fear, number 5, that there is a real fear that the applicant will abscond, especially taking into consideration the strong case he faces on serious allegations which would induce him to abscond. As the court pleases.
Yes, my lord. My lord, I take it, at least from what I've heard now from the state side, my lord, is that the first, second, and fifth ground are in essence the same ground, my lord. Because I think it's just a repetition, saying that the risk of abscondment, that there's a strong case and that he's facing serious allegations which would induce him to abscond. I think that is just a repetition of the first and the second ground, but we will deal with it through evidence, my lord. My lord, we note that there's already a ruling on the record, my lord, that deals with the aspect of abscondment as well as the aspect of the risk of interference. But given the grounds that have now been raised, we will then obviously then have to proceed to again, in essence, so to say, re-lead that evidence that deals with abscondment and interference, unless the court gives us other directions. My lord, may we then call the applicant to the stand?
Thank you. You may proceed, Mr.
Yes, please the court, my lord. Mr. Hatuikulipi, is it your first time testifying in open court? Yes. So for the purposes of examination in chief, you can just look at me. Don't be bothered about the cameras here. And can you please speak up in order for, my learned friend just indicated that he has difficulty hearing you as you're answering the questions. So you can just look at me and then you can just answer to the honorable court. And just relax, Mr. Hatuikulipi. Okay. My lord, we have prepared a bundle of documents. My learned friend, Mr. Metcalf, already provided your lordship with a copy of that particular bundle. And so we've also provided one to the state. My lord, may I hand a copy to Mr. Hatuikulipi?
Yes.
My lord, together with that, I have made an extract from the record of the bail proceedings, the initial bail proceedings, and that is in essence the founding affidavit, my lord, of the applicant in those proceedings. I also beg leave to hand him a copy. And if I may, for the court's convenience, I'm not sure if your lordship has that, the record there with your lordship.
I have the file that you shared with me.
Yes.
Is it the
But for the
court
purposes
record?
of examination in chief, I believe it's in the second or third file, my lord, page 384.
Is it the second file?
My lord, my file might differ, but I unfortunately don't have my complete record here.
Are you referring to his affidavit?
His affidavit, my lord. It appears at page 384 to page 300 and Of 575, my lord.
I have it.
Yes, as a plea of the court. My lord, we will be referring to that particular affidavit given the overlapping facts as to what the applicant will testify. So, Mr. Hatuikulipi, you can just have that affidavit there with you. Yes. Before we proceed to deal with the new facts in respect of your bail application, I would like us to first deal with the state's main ground of objection, or let me say the first ground of objection, relating to the risk of abscondment. And for that, we will briefly deal with obviously your personal circumstances, your background, as well as the factual background relating to your arrest and your family ties. Now, those aspects have already been dealt with in your founding affidavit, so we might refer to it throughout the course of the testimony. Mr. Hatuikulipi, how old are you now?
41 years old.
And what is your nationality?
Namibia.
Do you hold any dual citizenship with any other country?
No, my lord.
And where were you born?
I was born in Oshakati, Shana region.
And tell us a bit about how you grew up, where you schooled, where you lived.
Grew up in Oshakati. I completed my secondary education at Ishipena Secondary School. I have a certificate in information communication technology.
And before you were arrested, Mr. Hatuikulipi, where were you residing?
F865, Garibe Street, Kleine Coupe, Windu.
Is it Garibe Street?
Yes, Garibe Street.
And are you married?
Yes, I'm married to Joanna Dapandula Hatuikulipi on the 8th of October, 2011.
And do you have any children with your wife?
Yes, we have 2 minor children, a boy and a girl.
How old is the boy?
He's now 9 years old.
And the girl?
She's now 5 years old.
And your family members, where do they stay?
My mom lives in Ondangwa, in the Shana region. My dad lives here in Windhoek. My sister lives here in Windhoek. My brother lives in Ongwediva, the Shana region.
Your sister lives where?
In Windhoek,
And your brother?
Ongwediva.
And you said your father lives in Windhoek.
Yes.
And do you have any family members that are staying outside of Namibia?
Yes, I have a cousin by the name of Joanna Ndali Hatuikulipi. She's based in London, the United Kingdom.
Are you in contact with her?
No, I haven't been in contact with her.
And do you know where her residential address is in London?
No, I don't know her residential address.
Mr. Hatuikulipi, should you be granted bail by this honorable court, would you be able to obtain your cousin's contact details, including a residential address, and provide that to the investigating officer or the ACC?
Yes, I'll definitely do that.
Let us just quickly come back to your family members, your wife, children, and your parents. Were they financially dependent on you?
Yes, my lord.
Is this now before your arrest?
Yes, my lord.
Okay. And your occupation, what is your occupation?
Self-employed businessman.
Businessman. Now, I want to take you to your affidavit. This is the one that you filed in the initial bail application. And I want to take you to, it's actually page 6, but in terms of the record, it's page 389, page 6 of your affidavit. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there, my lord.
And I want you to focus briefly on paragraph 26. And please explain to the court, how do you generate your income from your businesses?
My lord, I generate my income from the following businesses. JH1 Trading, where I own 50%. And my wife another 50%. JTH Trading, CC, I own 100%. JTH Property, CC, I own 100%. Fitty Entertainment, CC, I own 100%. Erongo Clearing and Forwarding, I own 100%. Zebra Travel and Tours, I own 25%, and my wife another 25%.
My lord, that in essence is listed at paragraph 26 of the affidavit at page 6, my lord. And how long have you been in business, Mr. Hatuikulipi?
My lord, I've been in business for the past 19 years. Since 2003, when I started availing video games, jukeboxes, pool tables, into shebeens and bars.
You can elaborate, explain more, and then how did you build your business?
So my lord, from the income that I've been making from my businesses, I've developed a good relationship with my financial institution. So from there, my business started growing, investing in other businesses from the income that I generated from my businesses.
Let us start off with the first business, Fitty Entertainment CC. What business do you conduct in essence with that CC?
Lord,
Let me assist you. Let me take you to paragraph 29 of your affidavit. It's at page 7.
okay, I'm there.
Can you please take us through paragraph 29 there?
Indicates that for the past 17 years, I've been in business. When I started availing video games, jukeboxes, pool tables. Since 2003. In 2007, I registered Fitty Entertainment, which I took over my sole trader, entertainment and gaming business. In 2008, I bought a gambling house in Khobades with a gambling license of 5 machines, with the option of purchasing the premises, for which I purchased in 2012. This business operates the license, the gambling house, 5 machines. And under Fitty Entertainment, I also own a car wash, which is situated also in Khobades.
You can proceed there. You also indicated there I registered and opened Erongo Clearing. You can take us from there.
Erongo Clearing and Forwarding, it's handles import and export of goods and services. Vehicles, it also did export of minerals such as manganese to China. Rongo Clearing was also awarded a subcontract and the naked. Rongo Clearing and Forwarding was awarded a subcontract at the oil terminal construction site under Babyface Civil CC. It was also awarded another subcontract at the Nekatal Dam.
And with JTH Properties, what business do you conduct?
JTH Properties with JTH Properties acquire urban and development, and it's also for rental purposes. Also recycling properties that are financed with the banks.
You've also indicated that you own Zebra Tours and Traveling, wherein you own 25%.
With Zebra Travel and Tours, we contact tours for overseas clients across the country.
And then just to close it off, Mr. Hatuikulipi, what business do you conduct with JTH Trading CC?
JTH Trading CC do general trading. It's for general purposes, for trading purposes.
And you've indicated that obviously that you've got quite a number of businesses. Did you employ any Namibian citizens with these businesses prior to your arrest?
I employed 30 employees on a full-time basis before my arrest.
And what will happen, Mr. Hatuikulipi, to your businesses should you not be granted bail?
They will remain closed because my 5 trading shops, they are currently closed. My employees, if this business remains closed, they will not get closed.
When you're saying you have 5 trading shops, can you please explain? What do you mean?
Under JTH Trading CC, my lord, I operate 5 trading fish shops. 1 in Oshakati, 1 in Ondangwa, 1 in Oshikango, and 2 in Windhoek.
And currently, are these shops open?
No, they are closed, my lord.
Why is that?
It's caused by my incarceration.
Mr. Hatuikulipi, do you own any immovable property?
Yes, my lord. Residential property at Langstrand, Walvis Bay. The second one is ERF 1474. It's a commercial property in Khobabes. Third one, ERF 1475. It's a plot in Khobabes. ERF 2788. It's a flat unit at Walvis, Swakopmund. Number 5, ERF 2788. It's another flat in Swakopmund. ERF 6111. It's a plot, Swakopmund. R2825, it's a plot, business plot in Ongwediva. R5052, it's a residential in Ongwediva. R6491, it's a residential in Ongwediva. R6586, residential in Ongwediva. R6594, residential in Ongwediva. R6717, residential in Ongwediva. R3649, residential Nondango. R3693, residential Nondango. R784, so commercial, Windhoek. Section number 9 flat, it's a residential in Windhoek. R1326, residential in Windhoek. R509, residential in Windhoek. R865, residential in Windhoek. R717, residential in Windhoek. R1304, residential in Windhoek. R140, flats, Tenana.
Mr. Hatuikulipi, approximately what is the combined value of all this immovable property?
Before my arrest, this property had a combined value of approximately 40,025,000.
And do you own any immovable property? Movable property, my apologies.
Yes, I own 11 movable properties.
Can you please identify that for us?
They are not. I own 2 Mercedes-Benz, 2 Range Rovers, 5 Toyota pickups, 1 Amarok pickup, and a Toyota Corolla sedan.
And are they paid in full or are they still under more higher purchase?
5 of these movable properties, they are still under bank finance.
Let us briefly deal with your traveling documents. Do you have a passport, Mr. Hatuikulipi?
Yes, I do, my lord.
Where is your passport currently?
In my previous bail application, I handed my passport to the court. So I'm standing here, I don't know if it's still with the court or it was handed to the ACC.
Okay. And do you know whether that passport is currently valid?
No, my lord. I don't know. The time before my arrest, it was still valid, but now I don't know.
And in the event you are granted bail, Mr. Hatuikulipi, would you apply for a new travel document?
No, my lord. I will not apply for a new travel document until this matter is finalized.
And have you ever been arrested or convicted for entering any other country illegally?
No, my lord.
While we're on the topic of other countries, do you own any properties outside of Namibia?
No, I don't own any property outside Namibia. All my properties are in Namibia.
Any bank accounts?
No, my lord.
Mr. Hatuikulipi, besides this current case that you are facing, which is the subject matter of this bail application, do you have any other pending criminal cases?
No, my lord.
Have you ever been arrested before?
No, my lord.
Any other conviction?
No, my lord.
Okay. Mr. Hatuikulipi, I hope you heard when the state was saying that they have a strong case against you, or there are serious charges against you. Do you understand that these charges against you are serious?
Yes, I do, my lord.
And that if you are to be found guilty and be convicted, that there might be a lengthy sentence of imprisonment?
Yes, I do, my lord.
Would you still intend to stand your trial?
Yes, my lord, I'm committed to stand trial.
In fact, how do you intend to plead to these charges?
Not guilty to all the charges.
And if you were granted bail by this honorable court, would you stand trial?
Yes, I'll stand trial, my lord.
Why? Why don't you just run?
I have no reason to run because I'm innocent. And I want to finalize this case. So I want to clear my name, my lord.
And if you were to be granted bail by the honorable court, Mr. Hatuikulipi, would you be willing to comply with strict bail conditions, such as, for example, even reporting daily to the ACC or the Namibian police?
I will most definitely comply to such condition to secure my liberty.
Mr. Hatuikulipi, let's quickly backtrack a bit. I know that I've asked you now a sequence of questions, but let us deal with your arrest in this particular matter. Can you please provide us a factual background relating to your arrest in respect of these charges?
My lord, I was arrested on the 27th of November, 2019, after I handed myself over to the Namibian police, specifically Commissioner Nisberger, and to the ACC official, Mr. Andreas Kanyangela, in the presence of my then legal representative, Mr. Apollo Shimakeleni, and Advocate Chibwana, at the police headquarters in Windhoek. My lord, I became aware of the rumors from people that know me, who told me that I'm wanted by the law enforcement. On the 25th of November, 2019, I then engaged my then legal representative, Mr. Apollo Shimakeleni, and requested him to verify if there is any truth in the rumors. And if it is true, I advise him to notify the law enforcement that I will hand myself over to the Namibian police. On the same day, on the 25th of November, my then legal representative, Mr. Apollo Shimakeleni, sent 2 letters to the Anti-Corruption Commission, carbon copied Inspector General of the Namibian Police and the Prosecutor General, to verify if there is any warrant of my arrest. Since there was no response to those 2 letters, and I wanted to travel, on the 26th of November, my legal representative told me that since there was no response to the 2 letters, I can travel. But my phone must be on. He will call me at any time. On the 26th of November, 2019, late in the afternoon, I then left for the farm. On the 27th of November, 2019, while being at the farm, when I was preparing myself to go vote, because it was election day, I got a call from Mr. Apollo Shimakeleni telling me that I should come back to Windhoek and get arrested. There is a warrant of my arrest. The time that I was notified by Mr. Apollo Shimakeleni, I was in Omaheke region, Khobabes district. Upon receiving the telephone call from Mr. Apollo Shimakeleni, I made immediate arrangement to travel to Windhoek, a distance of roughly 200 kilometers from Gobabes district or Mahege region. Prior to the telephone call from Mr. Apollo Shimakeleni, neither the ACC official, neither the police telephoned me. I became aware of this allegation 1 month prior to my arrest from a report that was circulating in the media. Prior to this allegation, I've never fled from justice, and I have cooperated with the law enforcement, my lord.
And from having seen this, what did you refer to the documentary or the allegation that you learned about?
Yes, there was an Al Jazeera that had been circulating that we are the sharks. Fishrot, we've been called names a lot. 1 month prior to my arrest.
And when you were called by your previous legal representative, were you aware of the serious nature of the allegations against you at that time?
My lord, through the media, they have been making comments that will be charged, will be arrested, and so on. So I was aware that there will be charges from the report that had been circulating.
And why did you, so to say, hand yourself over to the ACC?
My lord, because I'm innocent.
Mr. Hatuikulipi, we can move on from the risk of abscondment, and then we can briefly deal with the state's ground of objection, which is the risk of interference with the state's witnesses and investigation. And I think at this point in time, we can kill two birds with one stone, and then we can also move on to the new fact. Your first new fact that you have raised in respect of your current application. Do you have a copy there of your new facts? Did you find it?
Wait, my lord. I'll get to it.
Can I proceed?
Yes, my lord.
I will proceed, my lord. The first new fact that you have raised is that the investigations into this matter is now complete. Can you please elaborate for us on that fact?
My lord, during our criminal proceeding, the High Court, we were told that investigations are now completed, and we were provided with a full disclosure and with a list of witnesses, my Lord. My Lord, now that investigations are completed, there is no risk of interfering. A list of state witnesses were provided to us. Now I know who they are. I will not tamper or interfere with state witnesses. Witness statements were obtained from state witnesses, and I will not tamper with those evidence of the state witnesses, my Lord. The fear of the state that I will interfere with the investigation of the state witnesses can be further be kept by imposing strict bail conditions, that I do not interfere with the investigations and that I do not communicate to any state witnesses. And I will most definitely comply to such condition to secure my liberty.
You've indicated that you've been provided with a list of witnesses. Do you know any of the witnesses?
Yes, my Lord. One of the witnesses is my uncle, Mr. Titus Hatuikulipi, brother, my father's brother.
Repeat his name again.
Mr. Titus Hatuikulipi.
And since you found out, did you communicate or contact Mr. Titus Hatuikulipi?
No, my Lord.
Should you be granted bail, would you communicate with him or try to interfere with him in any way or influence him?
No, my Lord. Since he's my uncle, for that purpose, I'm in the hand of the court. Whether I must communicate with him once I'm out or not, because he's my uncle. But from my side, I'm ready to take any strict bail conditions from the court.
And you've indicated since your arrest, you have not attempted to interfere with any of the state's witnesses or the state's case. Is that correct?
That's correct, my Lord.
And do you understand, Mr. Hatuikulipi, that if you are to interfere with the state's case or any of the witnesses or attempt to do so, that more charges might be brought against you?
My Lord, I understand that to interfere with the investigation or state witnesses could add more charges and imprisonment should I be found guilty. My Lord, I have no intention to jeopardize or endanger my freedom by interfering with the investigations or state witnesses.
Thank you, Mr. Hatuikulipi. You've considerably dealt with that particular aspect and at the risk of the state. We can move on to the other new facts that you have or that I've placed before court that you intend to testify on. In terms of your second new fact that you have raised, I will just briefly read it to you and then I will allow you to elaborate on that. Case number CC6/2021 and CC7/2021 has been joined together with disclosure. Disclosure constitutes about 90 arch lever files, a 144-page indictment, 44-page pre-trial memorandum, 7-page summary of substantial facts, and a list of 342 witnesses the state intends to call, which establishes a protracted trial and infringes on your right to a fair trial and speedy trial. Can you please elaborate and explain to us what you mean by this new fact?
My Lord, the ACC's investigations started in 2014. That is about some 9 years ago. From the documents that have been provided to us, the ACC have relied on several external consultants to assist them with their investigation. The foregoing means that if I'm to defend myself properly, as I'm entitled to in terms of my right to a fair trial, I must also be in a position to consult experts. This I'm unable to do while in custody, my lord.
You can proceed.
The disclosures provided to us comprises of 90 leather arch files with 80,000 pages, which shall require extensive consideration in preparation for my defense. At the correctional facilities where I'm detained, my lord, there is no adequate facility for proper preparation with my lawyer on 90 leather arch files with 80,000 pages, my lord. And prison is not the right place to go through such volumes of document, my lord. Prison is a crushing environment, my lord, emotionally and mentally and psychologically. No adequate facility to prepare for my defense from prison, my lord. Two cases have been joined as one, my lord. Given the nature of the disclosure and the number or the list of witnesses, a long trial is guaranteed, my lord. There are 342 state witnesses, and one witness can stand in the box for even more than 3 weeks or a month.
How many witnesses?
342 state witnesses. And one witness can stand in the box for even 3 weeks or a month. Because all the counselor or legal representative that are representing the other accusers, their lawyers also have to cross those accused, my lord. So a long trial is guaranteed, my lord. My lord, given the nature of this disclosure and the charges that I'm facing, I need finance to keep my legal representative, to properly defend myself. This I cannot do if I remain in custody. My incarceration cripples me from mobilizing funds to keep my legal representative, my lord.
Thank you, Mr. Hatuikulipi. Can you please get that file closer to you? The bundle of documents that we intend to rely on. Can you please go to number 21? They are numbered, they are flagged here on the side.
What's all that? It's long enough.
21 on the bundle of documents.
my lord.
Just wait for the court also to get to that page. Can I proceed, my lord? Yes, Mr. Hatuikulipi, please identify the document for us.
This is a Namgoma file. It's a witness list.
It's the witness list.
Yes, my lord.
Okay. And number one there, who's number one there on the witness list?
Johannes Stephenson.
Okay. We will deal with Mr. Stephenson later. If you can turn the pages there, you can go to page 12, where that Namgoma list stops. What is the number of witnesses there at the bottom?
175, my lord.
And these 175 witnesses are for what?
For the state witnesses, for the state, for Namgoma case.
That is 175.
Yes, my lord.
And then there's another list of witnesses for the Fishrot file.
Yes, my lord.
Yes. If we can go to the last page, how many witnesses are there for the Fishrot file?
167 witnesses, my lord.
Okay. So you've now indicated 167 and plus 175 witnesses. How many are those witnesses in total?
342, my lord.
Okay. Is that the 342 witnesses you were referring to?
Yes, my lord.
Now, you've testified that the state intends to call 342 witnesses. You've also testified that one witness might be on the stand for a very long time, and there are various accused persons involved in this particular matter, and there can be lengthy cross-examination. In your view, what do you estimate how long this trial might take once it commences?
My lord, since it's my first time that I'm in charge in a criminal case, I read a lot of cases. If I compare this case to the other cases, this case will take approximately 10 years to 15 years, my lord, to be completed.
My lord, I'm not sure how to proceed in terms of this bundle and whether we must mark the documents separately as exhibits, my lord, or if there's no objection from the side of the state, my lord, if we can just mark the bundle, the entire bundle as an exhibit, but that would depend from the state side if we may inquire, my lord, as it pleases.
My lord, yes, we do not have an issue if the bundle is marked as an exhibit, but for ease of reference, when a particular document is being dealt with, I think it will be best if we can then mark that. If the file is marked A, then we can say A1, so that we can easily refer to the document when time is appropriate.
Okay.
Because we must understand that the bundle is not paginated. If we just say the whole document, it will be difficult, even in submissions, to refer the court to a specific document.
Yes. All right. I think I accept that.
The document is actually paginated. We have the numbering on the side, but I do understand the concern of my learned friend. We can also proceed to mark as we are going along, my lord. Instead of saying A1, we can just say this document will be Exhibit A.
We'll end up with exhibit going to XXXX.
May I find out if everything is numbered, all the pages are numbered, because it was easy for me to get the document that you were referring to, and even on my note, I referred to it properly without difficulty. Now it's if the file could be marked as an exhibit, and then when counsel leads the witness, obviously he will refer to a page number or a particular document, and we'll be able to get it.
Yes.
Just like he did. It didn't present to me a challenge, but if it does present to you a challenge, then we'll then have to mark each document as an exhibit, which again you are guarding against, it seems, because there will be a lot of exhibits.
There will be a lot of exhibits. What I'm saying is,
yes,
in principle, is the same as what my learned friend is saying.
Yes.
We mark this bundle, for
Yes.
instance, Exhibit B.
Okay.
When we deal with a particular document, like
Alright.
now we have dealt with a witness statement,
Yes.
we just mark that as B1.
Yes.
Then we know B1 is the list of witnesses in the Namgomar matter.
Yes, I hear you. I'll
Yes.
accept that. I think let's rather do it that way.
No, I tend to agree with my learned friend for his wisdom.
Okay.
My Lord, I believe I was not here on the first day. I'm not sure if there's already an exhibit that has been handed up as Exhibit A. If I may just inquire.
I don't think so.
No. Only the document that was handed up today, which is the new facts, maybe that can be marked as A.
Okay.
And then this one is B.
All right. The document constituting new facts is marked Exhibit A, and the bundle is marked Exhibit B.
As it please the court. My Lord, in that regard, may we then mark the witness list under document number 21 to be marked as Exhibit B1. If there's no objection from my learned friend for the state.
Mr. IP? Yeah. It starts from, is it page, under 21 is page 8 to,
My Lord, there is no
on top.
coherent numbering there. It's just
There's no coherent number.
yeah, because they start from a page
Alright.
number 8.
I'll
but
identify it
just the
as
witness list, yes.
witness list.
The state's witness list.
It's Exhibit
B1, my Lord.
B1.
As it please the court.
All right. May I proceed?
As it please the court. Mr. Hatuikulipi, we can move on in terms of your new facts and deal with the third one. I will just briefly read it out for you. The applicant, or you have been detained in pretrial incarceration for about 2 years between the time of your initial failed bail application in July 2020 and this current bail application, while your trial is yet to commence at some point or date to be established, with extradition of your co-accused still being attempted by the state. Can you please elaborate on this new fact?
My Lord, since my bail application, my previous bail application was dismissed, in 2020. I've been now in incarceration for 2 years after it was dismissed, waiting for my trial to commence. And yet, my Lord, there is no indication when the trial itself will commence. This is so because interlocutory application could still be brought in force. As we are speaking now, my Lord, there is currently a pending application brought by accused number 1 for the recusal of the trial judge. Leave to appeal is yet to be heard. This matter may end up at the Supreme Court, my Lord. It will delay the trial. My Lord, during our appearance, the first appearance at the High Court, the state brought an application that 2 cases must be joined. Some of my co-accused opposed to that application in front of Judge Liebenberg. And it took 5 months for that ruling to be made. While these 2 cases have been running separately from the magistrate court ever since. So our first appearance, the state decided the 2 cases must be joined. The 8th of June, 2022, my Lord.
Now, whom was this article written? Do you perhaps know?
There is a name here, Birgir Herarosen.
Okay. Now, can you please read the first paragraph for us into the record? The first 2 paragraphs.
The Prosecutor General of Namibia, Martha Imalwa, and the Deputy Director General of the Namibian Anti-Corruption Commission, Erna van der Merwe, are both in Iceland as part of their investigation into the Sameji case. They are meeting with District Prosecutor Olafur Dua Hauksson, among others. According to Standing, key figures involved in the Icelandic and Namibian investigations also met last week in The Hague. The meeting reportedly ran from the morning long into the evening. Icelandic Prime Minister Katrina Jakobsdóttir met with the Namibian Foreign Minister and Deputy Prime Minister Stanetmeme Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah. Standing report that part of the meeting centered on the possible extradition of the Icelandic citizen connected to the case to Namibia.
Take us through the last paragraph there.
The Sameji case has been under investigation in Iceland and Namibia since the publishing and broadcast of evidence suggesting payments from Sameji to politicians and other powerful figures. I think it's now cut here.
Yes. Is your document cut?
Yeah, it's cut here.
Can I, my Lord, may I hand a copy to the witness? And you can just read for us on that last page, everything on that page.
Namibia, in exchange for lucrative fishing quotas of the Namibian coast. The investigation was a joint project by KVQ Television, I think it's a program, Standing, Al Jazeera, and WikiLeaks. 3 Icelanders who are former managers of Semeji's subsidiary in Namibia will, according to Namibian authority, face charges in the Southern African country. Those individuals are Eil Helgi Arnesen, Aldestein Helgason, and Ingvar Juliusen. They have all denied any wrongdoing and refused to travel to Namibia, which will be necessary in order to formally charge them. A formal request has been submitted by the prosecutor to the Justice Ministry in Windhoek to call on Iceland to extradite the 3 men. There is not extradition treaty in place between the 2 countries. However, the Icelandic law prevents the extradition of its own citizens to other countries. The Namibian Justice Ministry has also not yet formally sent the extradition request to Reykjavik.
Can you please return the document for me? Now, Mr. Hatuikulipi, thank you. This article is self-explanatory. Do you have any comment on it?
My Lord, this is clear that there is no extradition treaty between Namibia and Iceland. And it's clear that no extradition has been requested for the 3 Icelanders to be extradited to Namibia.
And how does that affect the commencement of this trial, if any?
My Lord, it will delay the trial.
My Lord, if there's no objection, I beg leave to hand up to form part of the record and to be marked as an exhibit. The first article, dated 08 June 2020, titled Namibian Samherji Investigators in Iceland, to be marked as Exhibit B2.
Mr. Ipinga?
My Lord, can the applicants just indicate where this article is coming from? Where was it published? For our information when it's being handed in.
BFS?
Yes, my Lord, it's an online publication. We can provide them with the website details if during the course of the break we can provide them with the website. I'm not sure if my learned friend would still persist in his objection.
For that, my Lord, if it can be handed in just for what it says, but not that what is stated in there is the truth, we do not have any objection. We take note of the content, but the truthfulness thereof cannot be verified.
Thank you. Exhibit B2.
As it pleases, my Lord, may I proceed?
Yes.
Mr. Hatuikulipi, let's turn the page and let's start off with the next document. You would see that it is 4 pages. You please identify that for us.
My Lord,
Which one is that, Mr. Beers?
My Lord, the heading there is Namibia urged to make official extradition
yes,
request to Iceland by Donald Matthys.
Thank you.
Not sure if Mr. Matthys is here in court. You can proceed, Mr. Hatuikulipi.
My Lord, this document says extradition request to Iceland, published by the Namibian media. I don't know which one now. So I say News National.
You can look here at the bottom. What does it say? https://www.namibian.com.
Okay, it's from the Namibian, my Lord.
Okay.
By Donald Matthys on the 9th of June, 2022.
Okay. Then you go to the second page.
Second?
Yeah, we can see that there's a lovely picture there.
Yes,
Do you know who that is?
yes. The Foreign Affairs Minister.
Okay. And what does it say there at the bottom?
The visit by senior Namibian government officials to Iceland has been welcome.
You can turn the page and take us through the first 3 paragraphs.
This comes amid calls for the government to formally deliver a request for the extradition of 3 Icelandic suspects wanted in Namibia in connection with the Fishrot corruption saga. This week, International Relation and Cooperation Minister Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah was on a 2-day visit to Iceland to, among others, discuss the extradition of Semeji's executive linked to the Fishrot scandal. We urge that the Minister of Justice in Namibia, Yvonne Duasel, make a decision known regarding extradition as soon as possible in the interest of justice and due process of law, having special regards to Article 45 of the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, which deals with extradition matters. Transparency International Iceland and the Institute of Public Policy Research said in the joint statement yesterday.
One that is in brackets. Skip the paragraph and then you move on.
Senior staff at the Legal Service Directorate within the Ministry of Justice confirmed that the formal extradition request has not yet been sent to Iceland, and that is currently with the Office of the Prosecutor General for their consideration and finalization. The request will then be signed by the Minister for onward transmission, Duasab said.
Duasab, yes. And then skip that paragraph and then the second last one. Then you read that for us. The second last one.
They said that the Prosecutor General, Martha Imalu, and Deputy Director of the Anti-Corruption Commission, Erna van der Merwe, also being in Iceland, meeting with Icelandic investigators and prosecutors, augurs well for possible cooperation in terms of the transnational criminal investigation.
Thank you, Mr. Hatuikulipi. On the first page, you indicated that the date of this article is 9 June 2022.
That's correct, my Lord.
And are you aware whether there was a trip to Iceland?
My Lord, I read in the newspaper.
Okay. And it appears that this article that you have just read is similar to the previous one concerning that the extradition request is yet to be submitted.
Yes, my Lord, it's the same.
And you've also now this last part that the Prosecutor General and the Deputy Director of ACC being in Iceland, met with the Icelandic investigators on the cooperation regarding the investigations.
Yes, my lord.
And how would this extradition that is yet to be submitted in respect of the 3 Icelandic nationals affect the commencement of your trial, if any?
It will delay the trial, my lord.
My lord, if there's no objection from my learned friend for the state, we may then hand up this document to be marked as an exhibit. B3, that would be the article in the Namibian by Donald Matthys, dated 9 June 2020, entitled Namibia urged to make official extradition request to Iceland. Remark.
In the same condition, my lord, no objections.
Exhibit B3.
May I proceed, my lord?
You may do so.
As it pleases the court. Mr. Hatuikulipi, let's move on to the last article. It's also a 4-page document. Yes. Please identify that for us.
This is an article from Windhoek Observer, E-Observer.
What is the date?
19 June 2021.
At the bottom of that document, Mr. Hatuikulipi, can you please just read that? The web page there for us into the record.
The web page,
Yes.
www.observer24.com.na.
Now it also indicates there on the top there is the Windhoek Observer. You see that?
Yes, my lord.
You know those people in the picture there? Can you
I don't know them
identify
personally. I know them through the media now.
Okay.
The lady on the left is Erna van der Merwe. This one is Maren de Klerk.
Okay. Can you please read that first paragraph for us into the record?
Staff reporter, speculation that the Anti-Corruption Commission Deputy Director General Erna van der Merwe assisted fugitive lawyer Maren de Klerk to flee, refuses to subside as the Prosecutor General's office eagerly awaits his extradition from South Africa. De Klerk, who is accused of being the paymaster in the Fishrot case, fled the country a few days after a meeting Van der Merwe and other investigators at the ACC head office. SPG's office is working round the clock to bring de Klerk back to Namibia. Prosecution officials are blaming Van der Merwe for giving de Klerk preferential treatment.
Okay, you can just stop there. Now this, you said, was 2021 already.
Yes,
that they were
ma'am.
working, or at least the article is saying they're working around the clock.
Yes, my lord.
Now since June 2021 until now, July 2022, do you know whether Mr. de Klerk has been extradited as yet?
He is not yet extradited, my lord.
Were you informed by the state how long it might take?
No, my lord. I was not informed.
Can this pending extradition of Mr. Maren de Klerk have any effect on the commencement of your trial, if any?
It will delay the trial, my lord. So they are saying he is the paymaster.
Let's go to the next page, Mr. Hatuikulipi. Please read that paragraph for us.
Andrew Kathindi, with less than 2 months before the Fishrot pre-trial in the High Court. Government is yet to begin the extradition process of lawyer Maren de Klerk, adopted paymaster of millions of states funds from Fishco. De Klerk, who has been indicated by the Prosecutor General, Martha Imalo, has been in South Africa for over a year. Director of Anti-Corruption Commission, ACC, Paulus Noah, said the extradition process is initiated by the Ministry of Justice, by the Justice Ministry, Head of Legal Services, responsible for extradition, Simata Linon Limbo, denied this. No request for Maren de Klerk lies.
Now, Mr. Hatuikulipi, from what you just read, we're just going to take it on face value here, is that the ACC is saying an official request has been submitted for the extradition of Mr. Maren de Klerk.
Correct, my lord.
The Ministry of Justice that deals with this particular matters are saying we have not received one. What is your comment on that?
This shows that extradition has not yet been done for Maren de Klerk.
You've already indicated that this will obviously have an effect on your
My trial, yes.
trial. My Lord, if there's no objection, I beg leave to end up the article in the Windhoek Observer. To be marked as exhibit is it B3, B4, my Lord.
B4, Mr. Ipinge?
Same condition. No objection.
Yes. Exhibit B4.
My Lord, I see it's a little bit before 11, my Lord. I have a leg injury, my Lord. I've actually booked off for this entire week in terms of the sick note that Mr. Metcalf ended up to court. I just wanted to know, my Lord, if there's no objection from the state, if we can just take a 10-minute breather, my Lord, just for me to get my bearings straight and obviously to take some painkillers for my leg, my Lord.
Yes.
As it please the court.
Mr. Ipinge, any suggestions there?
Not at all, man.
Is it 10 minutes?
As it please the court, my Lord.
Let's say we'll be back at 11:05.
I'm indebted to the court.
Ola John?